And welcome back to the OHIO podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Buckeye Boggs, and I am joined by my big banter buddy, Dylan Kuhn from the
What's
Boiler
up,
Express
everybody?
podcast. Gosh, it's good to see your smiley face,
Hey,
Dylan.
man, happy to be here. This is my favorite podcast besides my own.
Ditto, absolutely.
Well,
No,
and I grew up
hands
in
down.
Ohio, so
I
I've
know.
always disliked Ohio State fans, but this show has brought a new light to me about Ohio State fans.
We're not all douchebags.
Not all of you. Some of you are great. A lot of you are great. I'll say it. I wouldn't have said that before this, but you all are good people.
You know what? Let's just start here. We're just taking off the rails right off the bat,
That's
right?
what I do. That's what I do.
You're notorious.
Our
for it.
slogan at Boiler Express Podcast is off the rails for a reason.
Let's talk about crazy fans for a minute. So since you guys are my second favorite big banter podcast after our own,
Yeah.
I follow you guys a lot, and so I see some of the, I guess you could call it Twitter spatting that happens, and it's almost a relief to me because as an Ohio State fan, I feel like we fight amongst ourselves all the time. Why is it that people overreact so much during a football game?
I don't know, man. We got people out in these Purdue Twitter streets or X streets, what do you want to call them, who are comparing Walters to Daryl Hazel, which is like the utmost unfair comparison you can make for a guy that is his first year as head coach. We were talking 3 games the guys had been a head coach, and people were comparing him to the worst coach in our program's history. And I don't normally get in debates on Twitter. I'm there for jokes and laughs, but I couldn't stand by and let that happen. It's so unfair to the guy who's got his foot in the door, and we're like, oh, you're just like the worst ever coach. 9 wins in 4 years. Barely 1,000 fans in the stands. Like you're that guy. And you're like, no, that's not. It's a whole different. And I tweeted today. I said this program isn't where it wants to be, but we're sure as hell better off than we were just a few, before Jeff Brom came along. And he's killing it at Louisville. I root for him.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like,
it is wild.
I don't know what it is about Notre Dame and hillbillies, but it's like deliverance for them. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like whenever Notre Dame schedules anybody from the state of West Virginia or Kentucky, it's like they hear the dueling banjos. Ding, 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 ding. They know it's an L. Like,
they already know.
The Catholics, they're like, oh no, we got to deal with Pentecostal people. Like, I don't know, man. It's weird.
It's wild.
So weird. But like, there was no chance Notre Dame could win that game against Louisville. And I'm sitting there watching Brom, and I'm thinking to myself, what is Purdue thinking right now?
I root for him. Like, he did great things at Purdue. You can't fault the guy for wanting to go home and coach the hometown team where he played. His whole family is there anyway. So like, it was one of those situations where, man, like, he put us in a really good spot. He left our program better than how he found it. And really, that's all you can ask for. And so I root for him. I'm not going to lie. There's a bunch of guys on that team, Plummer, the quarterback, and many others who are former Boilers. Plummer spent some time at California and then transferred over when Brom announced he's going to Louisville. So I root for him. And we got 2 guys on our podcast who live in the Louisville area. Mm-hmm. Or I'm sorry, Louisville, however you want to pronounce it.
You got to say it with like marbles.
You got
to
say
right?
it like you're puking.
Louisville.
Yeah, exactly. When I say Louisville, they're like, hey, Louisville. And I'm like, all right, whatever.
Did you play baseball when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah.
So you probably had a Louisville Slugger.
That's exactly. Thank you.
Maybe it's an Ohio thing. No one says, I just got a brand new Louisville Slugger. Like, no.
maybe it's just us Ohio people. I don't know. I don't think a lot of people realize I'm an Ohio guy, born and raised, still live in the Dayton area. Like, I am surrounded by Ohio State people. I just happen to go down a different path. But
well, wasn't your dad a Boilermaker?
Yeah. My dad went to school there.
So you were raised in it, right?
Oh, yeah. If I wasn't a Purdue fan, my dad would have disowned me. It was just how it is. No, my dad went to Purdue, and that's how I grew up being a Purdue fan. Like, I think my first football game, I was not even a year old yet.
Yeah, so I respect the heck out of that, dude, because think about it this way. Like, so I can't stand the people who root for the team up north because they're like, they just want to be like, I'm a thug, so I'm going to wear an M.
They just want to piss you guys
starter
off.
jacket from '84, it's like, not
Dude,
take
kids
a bath
will pay
for
good
a
money
week.
for those starter jackets. Oh man, I've worn one to a couple games, and I've had college kids come up to me and be like, "I'll give you $400 for that," and I'm
You
like,
gotta be careful. They might pull a gun on you in
"They
today's
may
day and
mug
age.
me in
I
the
want
mean
your
streets of
shoes and your
Purdue."
starter jacket. Yeah,
Listen, the campus is safe. Sir, the campus, I don't know, but
it can't be any worse than walking through downtown Columbus.
last time I was in Columbus, I was kind of, and I go there quite frequently, but I'm a big, I'll relate to your listeners, big Columbus Crew fan. I love the Crew. So,
Really?
you can't hate me all that much, guys.
No. Well, they got your colors, right? I mean,
No,
they're
that's the thing. I think, and a lot of people don't like their Crew because they're I'm sorry, Steelers colors, or they're not, they need to be scarlet and gray. Or one thing I do love when Ohio State fans get a hold of me and they're like scarlet and red. And I'm like, wait a minute. Yo, I've had a lot of people be like, I love me the scarlet and red. And I'm like, wait a minute. Hold
scarlet
on.
and red. I don't
And I
know
was
who they're
like,
talking about. All right, man. So, anyways, let's get see. We got off the rails. Off
doesn't
the
take long
rails.
with me,
I mean, we got off the rails on purpose, and then we took a U-turn off the rails. Okay, speaking of off the rails, so we were talking on the last episode. If there was any way possible we could drive the train onto the Ross-Ade Field there, we want to make that happen. Remember Boomer Sooner a couple years ago when they
Oh
took
yeah.
the wagon out and it got loose,
Yep. Yep.
and the one woman went flying
She
off the
went
back of the
flying.
wagon.
I thought
We
she may have been deceased when I
What's
saw
the
that.
top speed of that train?
Well, so we got two. We got the Boilermaker Special, which is the largest one, and then we have the Extra Special, which is the smaller version, which leads the team out of the now Tiller Tunnel. Before it was just an inflatable train and very lame, but now we have a tunnel finally after all these years. Awesome. Yeah. So fun fact about the Boilermaker Special: it's a car. I don't know what type of car it is underneath the shell of the train. It's probably something like a '98 Chevy or something. Who knows?
It's an
Uh,
Impala.
yeah, I was in Chicago one time and Purdue's playing Northwestern, and why I didn't go to the game, I don't know, but I think I was there for a bachelor party. Anyway, I get out of my taxi to go to Target, and there goes the Boilermaker Special, just trucking right along. And I like my people. It was the sound of my people. And so yeah, the Boilermaker Special itself is incredible. And then we have the Extra Special, which is the smaller version that broke down running out or rolling out of the tunnel. I think the first game this year, maybe I think it was. So we got all the trains. You need trains. We're your school.
I want our podcast to get to the point to where at some point we can make a bet that if we win, I get to drive it.
That
Okay.
would be fun. I mean, it's got the train horn. It's got it all.
Oh yeah.
I know they wouldn't let me anywhere near it, but
Well, that's the fun in that.
well, the fun part is for every win they attach. I think the Reamer Club is the one who runs the train. They attach a hat to the cow catcher on the front. So if you guys lose this weekend, there will be an Ohio State hat on the cow catcher. They're on front of the train.
Well, let's hope not.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
What?
you, well, I mean, let's get into the game a little bit. I mean, we could talk about anything but football all night long, you and
All
I. But
night.
okay, you guys are beat up, man. I
Yeah.
just saw where this week or today, Walter said there's like a couple starters going to be out for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Like
It's tough.
it's you got things have gone from like bad to worse a little bit there, and then the Iowa game, which no one saw because that was on Peacock.
Oh, the olds are real upset about that.
Well, you guys have officially become like the Peacock like brand.
Yeah,
I mean,
for some reason.
for us. This is what your third game on Peacock
Yeah.
in 6 games or 7 games for you guys.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's going to be Buckeye fans who have no idea how to do this. No clue.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we're going to the game, so I don't have to buy the streaming service, but I will eventually because we found out this week half of Ohio State's basketball games are on Peacock.
Really?
Half
Well, no,
of
you
them.
guys don't watch those. You guys don't care about
Well,
basketball.
I do, but yeah, you're right. You're right.
See, but that's like on your last episode, you talked about how terrible Value City Arena is.
Oh, it's bad.
I've never been, shockingly. I mean, I've been to the shoe, I don't know how many times. But for Purdue games, and I've been there for non-Purdue games, believe it or not. I've gone undercover. I've been on the field.
You've been
Believe
scouting.
I was on the field one time, and we were at my dad and I were at a business convention that was in Columbus, and part of it was like, we'll give you a tour of the shoe, and my dad and I were like, well, yeah, like, not going to pass that up. And I get ready, and I had a Purdue jacket on, and my dad goes, you got to change. We don't want to get mugged. So I stepped on the field, and I was FaceTiming all my friends, like, wow, they let me in here. Like, what? I'm
I
in
thought
enemy
you were gonna say
territory.
thought you were gonna say you're at one of the games where they storm the fields and you're just like, okay.
When was the last time you guys stormed the field at the shoe?
When was the last time?
Yeah.
Probably the come from behind win against Penn State.
Oh, that's yeah. I didn't think about
I
that one.
was there for that one. Oh, no, it was the game against Michigan where we won in double overtime.
Oh, that's right. Yep. That was
Yeah.
a big one.
Curtis Samuel. Yeah, Curtis Samuel game where in double overtime he goes around the edge. It was also JT Barrett where he got the first down and Michigan swears that he didn't, and Harbaugh goes like this and it
They're
became a
always
meme.
complaining.
Yeah.
Someone had to tell Michigan fans that Harbaugh was actually alive at the beginning of the year. They
Yeah.
they were acting like the man had died.
Well, they thought he was in prison. They thought he was a prisoner of war.
Imagine Harbaugh in prison.
Free
Oh.
Harbaugh, like he's in captivity or something. Like he's a POA. Like I mean
He's a hero,
POW.
that
Like
guy.
come on, guys. Like
Harbaugh
God,
would run a
goodness
pod.
sakes.
Let me tell you.
Well,
Speaking of rushing the field, the last time,
okay.
well, no, not the last time. One of the times I've rushed the field is 2018,
Yeah.
which was I got a let's see, I got a frame photo from 2009. I was at that game. That was fun. 20, no, not 13. Would have been 11, 12. I don't know. We beat Ohio State so many times it's hard keeping count.
So I was trying to tell the Turtlehead guys, like they're like, oh gosh, this is you guys got Purdue the week after that, and we're like, dude, we're more afraid of Purdue than you.
Yeah, I don't
And
know what it is, but
they were like, what? We're like, seriously, look it up. Statistically, Purdue has beat us more since the year 2000 than any other team in the Big Ten in college football. And they're like, bull crap. We're like, look it up.
yeah. I
It's
think I
real.
saw a stat a year or so ago of the last away game of each of the like two or three last head coaches at Ohio State were a loss at Purdue.
Mm,
If maybe I'm wrong. I'm not the stats guy. That's
mm.
Frank on our podcast. But if that's right, then hey, good on me. If it's not, I didn't say anything.
I know this much. The last time Ryan Day was there in 2018, he broke a school record. We
Oh
threw the football for more passing yards in that game than has ever been thrown in an Ohio State game before, and we still lost by 20 something.
man, that's crazy. Speaking of
That's
Ryan Day,
nuts.
while I'm
Yeah.
here, he dyes his beard, right?
No, that is natural.
No, there's no way that jet black at that age is natural.
Oh yeah.
Are you?
It's not going to be jet black for much longer though.
If this keeps happening,
He keeps getting mad at like 87-year-old men. I mean,
Ohio State coaches age like presidents. It's just
they do. Look at Urban. Look
I
at
couldn't
Urban when he
imagine.
was hired and when he was hired and retired in that
It's got to
7 year
be so
span.
stressful. Oh my
Oh,
god.
I can't even imagine what it's like to be Ryan Day's family.
Like you can't go out to the local grocery store. You can't go
No.
out to the local dinner spot. Like that's insane.
No. This is how crazy Ohio State fans, and I'm lumping myself into that category. So I went to a OSU hockey game. By the way, we're going to a hockey game this year. It's on me.
Hey,
You're
I love
com-
hockey.
you're coming up. Purdue doesn't have a hockey team, so it's
We have a
okay.
club hockey team actually.
Do you
But
really?
yeah. I'm a hockey
Why?
guy. I spent 4 years in the Federal Hockey League in the minor leagues.
Shut the front door. Are you
Yeah.
serious?
Yeah, I
You were
didn't
an
play. I worked in the
enforcer,
front
weren't you?
office. I did not play. I was not good enough to play.
But you were
I was a
still
front
an
office.
enforcer.
Yeah. Oh, I wish there was listen, there's been times I almost jumped on the ice to go, but I'd lose. There's no way. I'm a
That
lover,
would
not a fighter.
could you imagine you and me trying to race across the ice for fun?
Oh, that would be hilarious. We may have to actually do that now you bring it up. Just a couple big fellas skating on the ice. What could go wrong? What could go
What
wrong?
could go wrong? Oh my gosh, the entertainment of that. Anyways, so we went to a hockey game, and Ohio State's former offensive line coach, Greg Strudrara, or Coach Stud as they called him,
Yeah.
was there. And I'm like, dude, that's Coach Stud. So I went down and said hi. And Coach Stud, he was hilarious. He was yelling during the hockey game. A big hockey guy, did not know
Yeah.
this. And I got my picture with him, and this is when we knew the offensive line was in trouble years ago. He was like, "Hey, Coach Stud, I've got years of eligibility left." He literally looked at me and goes, "Come see me."
What? What?
I'm like, Carl, we're in trouble. Offensive line's not looking good, dude.
And they're
If
recruiting off the
they want a
streets.
they want a 5'11", 300-pound man.
They
Mm-mm.
want a Rudy
He's,
situation. That's how
he's
bad
like,
things are.
he's like, he's like, we could use a center. You're short and squatty, buddy.
Man. You think in Ohio it'd be fairly easy to find some corn-fed, big old fellas. It's like Wisconsin. Wisconsin has averages 300 pounds every year, like it's no big deal.
Yeah, yeah, it's unbelievable. But anyways, again, we got off topic. Yeah, so Purdue is not the same team that they started the season as lined up wise. But
Not at all.
where are you guys at mentally as a program right now? Because I mean, you go into that Iowa game and you played them well. Yeah, they didn't have, what was it? No receptions to a wide receiver, 6 receptions the entire game,
Yeah.
and a 20. I think the final score was what, 2014.
Yeah.
That's not a bad football team. You lose by 6. You in their house had them on the ropes.
Oh, I've seen worse losses for a Purdue team. Let me tell you. No, I
So I
don't.
mean,
The mood is. You look at us like the energy that was going on, like when Damon and I were on for the the preseason show with you guys, and I mean we're still excited. We still like Walters, at least from our podcast perspective. We're huge Walters guys, and there's a lot of hype going into the season. You're talking renovations, you're talking new coach, new energy, all this, and that's still there. We're still selling out games. People are showing up. People are excited. But then this press conference today was kind of, at least for me, let the air out of the sails a little bit, because you're talking about a lot of key guys going down with season-ending surgery or injuries rather. So right now it's a little. We're still glad to have Walters. He's a great guy. We had a really great win against Illinois, which I think he'll never say it was, but I think it was a good win for him personally against his former team and coach and all that. So with the injuries, it's kind of, the injury bug's terrible no matter who you are. I don't care if you're Northwestern or Ohio State or Bama. I mean, well, Alabama can reload pretty easily, but the injury bug's never good. And I don't think anybody, at least I didn't expect a couple of season-ending injuries for key players and an O lineman who were already, they've shown a little improvement, but the O line's kind of struggled a little bit this year. But like I said, they've shown improvement. So right now it's, and when you go up against a team like Ohio State, who's a powerhouse every year, even though historically we've played well against Ohio State, I hope we win, but I'm a realist, and you got to take everything into consideration. And Ohio State's a daggone powerhouse, like I said, so it'll be interesting, that's for
uh,
sure.
as we record this Monday evening, October 9th, 6 days to the game. Here's where I'm at. I think, like, I expect Purdue to give us a good game.
Yeah,
I do not expect to lose. I also don't expect to feel like we're going in the fourth quarter and I'm sitting here going, oh my gosh, like we might lose this thing. I think we're gonna win comfortably, but
mm,
I in no way, shape, or form think we're gonna come in there and we're gonna be up by 35 points by halftime. I
yeah.
just don't see that happening.
I hope not.
I've watched enough Purdue. I mean, gosh, you guys blew the doors off Illinois.
Yeah, it
Okay. You
was a
hung
great
in
game.
there against Iowa. You almost, really, you should have won the game, in all honesty. You should have beat Fresno State. I'm just kind of going back in my head and thinking about the games I've watched.
Yeah,
Syracuse kind of got away from you a little bit.
that was a frustrating game, very
That
frustrating.
was because I think you get momentum and then you get the rug taken out from you, and then you
Yep.
build it about, and then again one play, boom.
Yeah.
That was frustrating. I could understand that one. And then Wisconsin, to me, felt like they're in your head.
They've been in our head for 17 years. We haven't
Yeah,
beat them in like 16 or 17 years.
like all of the good mojo like you guys had the podcast before felt like you guys were trying to convince yourself we can do this, we can
Yeah.
do this. And when you're in that spot, which is the exact spot we now find ourselves against Michigan.
Mhm.
When you're there, they're in your head.
Oh yeah.
Like it's so frustrating because talent wise you're just as good, but it's almost like one bad thing happens and immediately you go, here it goes again.
Yeah.
And you've lost already.
Oh yeah.
To me, that feels very much what was going on there. So I'm going to be really interested this Saturday to watch from, the Purdue side of things. Like, because it's Ohio State, do they say to themselves, we've beat these guys before?
Yeah.
We can do this.
I
And
hope
so
I hope Walter shows him some film from past years, just for the hell of it. It's like we've been here before, we've done it before. Why not do it again? And this would be a very key win in Walter's,
oh, it'd be massive.
it would be huge. It would be it would be the biggest one of the year by far.
It might be the
Um,
big. I mean, again, I'm not trying to. It might be the biggest upset of the season, right?
oh
I
yeah,
mean,
I would
I'm
think
trying
so.
to. Well, Georgia Tech over Miami was huge because
Yeah.
Georgia Tech
Oh, the ending of that
sucks.
game. Oh my god. I've seen Purdue lose in some very heartbreaking ways, but at least that's never happened to us.
I don't know how that guy still has a job,
I don't know. I would quit. I mean, I wouldn't even. I'd quit before they would fire me. It's
and he's got the stones to tell the Miami media, I don't believe in taking a knee.
buddy, take the knee, please. I forget who the transfer was, but he transferred from Purdue to Miami, and in this off season this year, he was like, the weather down here is so much better than at West Lafayette, and all of us Purdue fans like, yeah, of course it is. It's Miami. Like,
No kidding.
no shit. Like what? Of course you're what?
Does the comment follow that? So's the co-eds. I mean, like,
Listen, he's like, the weather down here is so much better. We're like, you're not wrong. I mean, you're not going to get a rile out of us. We know where we're at. Like, what do we?
I wish there would be some recruits and some football players that actually tell the truth on things and be like, dude, I'm so glad I'm no longer going to Nebraska. The girls there are hideous.
And there's
Like,
cornfields for days. I mean, it's just
like, like, I,
Nebraska, poor Nebraska. I'll tell you.
sorry, Scullies.
Sorry, yeah,
they,
sorry.
they had so much hope. They were like the Purdue guys. They had so much hope coming into the
Then it gets
season.
crashing down. Welcome to our world. I mean, there's excitement and hope for Purdue, and then you just get disappointed.
Oh shoot, gosh, that's hilarious. All right, so you're beat up. At this point, is it basically like, okay, let's throw the young guys in there, get them experience, and start to build for the future? I mean, he's recruiting really well.
Yeah,
You guys have had what, more four stars in the 2024 class than you've ever had before, right?
yeah,
Did I hear that right?
yep.
So, I mean, is it basically at this point, let's play the young guys and get them ready, giving them
Yeah,
experience and stuff, or is there still kind of like a we can still win the West feeling, or is that kind of out the window now?
for me, the whole win the West thing is, I don't, I don't know. I hate to be, Debbie Downer, but I don't see it happening. It's just where we're at right now, and then you add the injuries we found out about today. It's just it'll be hard to do. If it happens, awesome. If it doesn't, well, we'll get them, we'll get reloaded and keep it, do it again. But
All right, I'm
it'll be interesting.
looking at your schedule, Dylan. Let's find you four more wins because that gets you 6-6. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're 2-4.
mm,
All right, let's find you four more wins here. We got Nebraska,
it's a win.
Minnesota.
Ooh, Minnesota always plays us tough.
That's a win, dude. I'd be more worried about Nebraska right now than I would be Minnesota.
That's true. Yeah, the PJ Fleck
PJ
Colt.
Fleck's got one foot out the door, dude.
He's ready to dip. He's taking his quarter zip and shirt and tie, and he's rowing the boat on out of there.
I can't wait for the Bacon Wire podcast when he signs on as the next Michigan State head coach.
Oh no, I didn't even think about that. I thought they were getting Urban. No, I'm just kidding.
That's what they want.
I couldn't
Urban
imagine Urban Meyer
Urban is
going
going to
there.
go somewhere warm if he
Yeah.
coaches again, or Notre Dame.
Ooh, Notre
He
Dame would
wa-
be wild.
he coached at Notre Dame.
Yeah, yeah.
He's Catholic. He was a Notre Dame fan as a kid. The
Do they
trifecta.
do they have bars? Can he get on the plane by himself instead of with the team? Can
I mean, at this point, the Notre Dame fans would be like, "Hey, all you kickers, take one for the team. We're bringing Urban on."
Well,
I
see,
mean,
and I
at this,
love Mark personally. Marcus Freeman was here during the Hazel years, and I always liked Marcus a lot. And I
yeah,
know he's obviously a Buckeye, but I can't root for Notre Dame. I just can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it literally ever, unless they play Indiana. Then I'll root for him. But but I like Marcus. I think Marcus is a good coach. I think he's a good guy. But that's another, we were talking about stressful jobs for, a guy like Ryan Day. Notre Dame has to be a very stressful job. I mean, that,
yeah, I agree. There, not only do you have just the media, which is larger, and the fan base, which is huge, so you're going
yeah,
to hear a lot of chirping. But you also have to deal with like their board of regency and what they call like and the religious aspect of that with the
yeah,
Catholic Church. Like they call them the fathers,
yeah.
like who have control over Notre Dame.
It's crazy.
It a lot of people don't realize that the flow of money in that university is very different than say at Ohio State or Purdue.
Yeah,
Like extremely different.
yeah,
And so the criteria that the coach has to follow is so much more strict and beyond the borders of a normal university athletic department. It's wild. So I don't know. In all honesty, I'm just being dead honest. I don't know that Notre Dame will ever get back to what they were
yeah.
in the
It'll be
80s
tough.
because of that criteria. They're going to have to say we're going to play ball with the big boys, and that
Yeah.
means stepping out more and doing NIL things. It means you're going to have to let go of some of your traditions,
Oh, yeah.
you know, all of those things. Be interesting. But yeah, so Ohio State's going for the trifecta in the state of Indiana. We went on the road in Bloomington, took down the Hoosiers,
Love it.
which by the way, their stadium announcer might be the most annoying human on the planet.
Most of them are. Most of them are. There's photos. I forget who Indiana played. I mean, it was last year, 2 years ago, where like goose poop was covering the seats, and so us Purdue fans took that, and we still use it to this day. It's just I don't know. Indiana's Indiana. They got banners that are 100 years old, and they got asbestos built into them, and they're gonna call themselves Big Brother, but we all know who the real Big Brother is in that rivalry.
Every time they would get a first down, that announcer, first down, Hoosier, and
Sounds
like
like he's taking a deuce.
scoreboard, dude,
Yeah, I know. It's
tone
tough.
it down.
It's tough.
All right, so then we go into South Bend, which first time since '97 or '96, I can't remember which.
Great game.
Took them down with the last play of the game. Oh, dude. So we're in Pittsburgh for this
Mm.
game.
Oh, that's right. You had your watch party.
We took the podcast to the Pittsburgh Alumni Association, the OSU Alumni Association of Pittsburgh. Went to what's his name? It's Mike's Beer Bar.
Oh, okay.
Went right across from PNC Park where the Pirates play.
Ooh,
Awesome place,
that
man.
sounds
Just
awesome.
yeah, they bring you out a steak on a stone, and you cook it yourself.
You're speaking my language.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Oh man.
Anyways, long story short, great time at the game. There are Mike Wargo, which is the Rudy of Ohio State. Okay?
I remember hearing you say that on the show. Yeah.
Watching Notre Dame, who had a Rudy. Okay, this is just you can't write a better script.
Perfect.
He's there. Chris and I are there. There's about 45, 50 other Buckeyes taking over the bar, and we're all on our feet. And literally, the last play happened, and we bust out into Carmen, Ohio as a group.
Oh,
man.
that's cool.
It was
That's
awesome. Great memory. Just a great memory. But anyways,
That's really
so
cool.
we went into Bloomington. We've gone into South Bend. We're going for the trifecta. West Lafayette, man.
I hope we ruin it. I hope we ruin that. I hope we ruin that trifecta.
Yeah,
That is
we're
pretty
2
cool.
for
You've gotten
2.
all three in 1 year.
Yeah, like I don't think it's ever happened. I don't know that there's ever been another team
Yeah,
play
well,
Purdue, Indiana, Notre Dame on the road and beat them all three of them. I don't know that it's ever happened in college football history.
But it ain't gonna
I don't know
happen.
how. I don't even know how to look that up.
I hope it doesn't happen. I hope
Like
we
it would
don't.
only it could only be a few teams that have ever played all three teams in the same season
Yeah, I don't
on the road.
remember.
Like
I don't ever remember a team playing all three in the same season.
it'd
Like
have
over
to
a
be a
few
big
years, sure, but
it'd have to be a Big Ten team.
yeah, oh yeah,
It would probably have to be one of the original.
the
So you're
OGs.
looking at the original 10 minus you guys. So now we're down to 8.
Yeah,
So, and then they would have to have that played Notre Dame with it. So you're looking at maybe the team up north, possibly
you mean
Michigan
Michigan?
State. No, I don't like no.
Michigan is that?
The fighting hairballs. Sparty, it wouldn't be Penn State. They
No.
weren't the originals.
People forget that. I think a lot of times people think Penn State's an original, but they're not.
No. In fact, Michigan State's not original.
Yeah, that's another wild one.
It was Chicago.
Rest in peace.
Like, how wild would that be? That if we're like, I think we were talking about this at the earlier beginning of the season. After all the problems Northwestern had, the Big Ten's like, yeah, I think we're gonna go with Chicago now.
Now, my dad said when back in the day, it was back in the 70s, that there were rumors that they were going to bring Miami of Ohio and kick out Northwestern. They're kind of going to do a trade, which would be great because Miami of Ohio is like 30 minutes from my house. So
Yes,
Purdue playing a 30-minute away game would be awesome.
Athens, Ohio, baby.
Well,
Or
no, it's
no, it's
Oxford.
Oxford,
Oxford.
Ohio.
Yeah.
Athens is where
Great
OU's
little
at.
town. Oxford's an
Yeah.
awesome town.
By the way, have you been on Miami's campus?
Oh, yeah. Plenty. I go to hockey games there all the time. Oh, yeah. It's nice.
Yeah.
Have you been to the hockey arena?
No.
We'll have to do it. We'll have to do it for sure. Because
Let's do it.
it's not even, I don't think it's even 10 years old. It's really nice.
Yeah, Ohio State's about ready to build a brand new hockey arena.
Good. Do they play in Value City?
They do. They curtain off the top.
Oh, that's tough. That's
Yeah.
tough.
It's like, oh, we're playing in this giant arena. You can hear the puck like echoing off the boards.
I love it.
Yeah, you can hear the players cussing at each other and like
There's plenty of that.
Slovakian and
Us
Russian.
hockey guys are bilingual. We know English
Yes.
for our native language and then cursing. My
trilingual.
My mother, God love her. When I started like getting into the hockey world, she's like, "You're cussing too much, and it's being around all those hockey guys all the time." And I'm like, "You're not wrong." Like,
The
sorry.
best would be when she said it, you smile, you're missing a tooth.
Oh yeah. Hey, I got all my chiclets are still
Now
here.
you look like them.
Yeah. Oh, we would have. We had a deal with a local dentist office that they would have free sponsorship. They could do whatever they wanted as long as they fixed our guys' teeth, and that's minor league hockey. What a
Oh
world
my
it was.
gosh. That's amazing. That's amazing. All right, so we're coming into West Lafayette. I want you to tell our listeners, Ohio State fans, why or how Purdue wins this football game.
If they do, it's going to be close. There's no way you're going to see another 49-20. Like, I just don't think that's plausible at this moment. It'll be a gritty win. It'll be, in the trenches. If it is, the defense has to step up, in a big way. We've had some great play from our wideouts lately. So hopefully, they kind of keep Marvin Harrison Jr., who is an absolute beast. That kid is something else, just like his old man. We're going to have to keep him at bay, which I think is going to be extremely difficult. I think our running game with Mockbee, Tracy, and Dylan Downing, they're going to have to, show up and show out. Mockbee is going to have to protect the football a little better, and among other things. And Hudson Card is going to have to go out. He's going to have to go off and have a big showing and really, use his feet along with his arm, which we know he can do both. So it's going to be interesting, but I think if Purdue does come out with a win on Saturday, it's going to be a one of those classic Big Ten, rough, tough, just Big Ten football. We're talking fullbacks. Yeah. We're talking all that stuff.
The kind of play that Ryan Day has wet dreams about, but apparently we're not good at right now. Yeah.
It's going to be a gritty win. If Purdue does pull it out, it's going to be a gritty win, and it's probably going to be low scoring if we do win. I just have, I know Ohio State's offense is when you got guys like Marvin Harrison Jr., like I said, guys can play. But I don't know. It'll be interesting. I don't know. I really, going into this game, I really don't know what to expect. When you talk about injuries, young guys having to step up, really fill in those roles, and fill in those spots, it's going to be interesting. And I think our defense is going to have to show up in a big way. I think Hudson Card's going to have a great game, along with the running game is going to really have to give us a little breathing room. So it'll be interesting. I is there, I'm always optimistic. I always think going into any game that there's a way Purdue can win if they execute and do what they need to do. Like, the stereotypical answer every coach gives you, but if they do win, it's going to be one of the grittiest games of the year. Like, it's going to be that rough, tough game. Like I said,
How old were you in 2002?
6, 7. See, I'm 27. So yeah, I was a youngin. I was a wee lad.
I was a
I'm the youngest on
junior.
our podcast by a
I was a
mile.
junior in college. Oh my
Oh, you
gosh.
old. Oh
Look at
man.
that salt and pepper in my beard. 2002, man, was my favorite Ohio State game moment of all time. I want to feel the ghosts of Holy Buckeye when I walk into your stadium, man.
Man, I
Like,
just watched our guy Stu Schweigert, who played at Purdue, played with the Raiders for a long time, has a lot of highlights from his time at Purdue. And I just watched the 2003 game, which I was at that game when the overtime you guys won by a game-winning field goal. And I remember being at that game, and I went with my dad. And like I said, I was like 7 or 8, so I was a small little guy. And all the Ohio State fans wouldn't let me sit down, so I had to sit on my dad's lap for like the first quarter. And then my dad said, every time they score, they're going to stand up. So I'm going to sit you down and we're going to scoot and we're going to get our seats that way. And we really had to fight for me to sit in a seat. So,
was
no,
that
but I
at
was
the
at that 03 game.
03 was at the Horseshoe, wasn't it?
Yep. Sure was.
Yeah. Yeah. 02 was Holy Buckeye, which was the single, in my opinion, single greatest play in Ohio State history. That play never happened. The championship for Tressel never happens if that play doesn't take place.
Yeah.
And that was an incredible moment. I
I don't
can't
know.
wait to
Holy
come.
Toledo was pretty good.
Holy Toledo.
Yeah,
What
it
are you
was
talking
Drew
about?
Brees. God, why can't I remember the wide receiver's name? Against Ohio State, what year would that have been? I think it was the Rose Bowl year, maybe. I don't know. I'm not the historian of our
I don't
group.
want to talk. Was your guys' call? You guys called that Holy Toledo?
No, Brett Musburger did. During the play, yelled
Oh
Holy
yes,
Toledo.
yes, Holy Toledo. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, all right, yeah, all right,
See,
yeah,
I'm
because
just the funny guy on our podcast. I don't know
but
stats. I don't know historian stuff. What are we?
yeah, but he also gave out the Holy Buckeye on that play. Yeah,
Well,
okay,
he was a legend. Well, I mean, I think
he
I think
was, dude.
he still calls games, just not college. Ever since the AJ McCarron girlfriend incident, then they kind of put old Musburger on the shelf.
Well, buddy,
Speaking of
uh,
old ESPN guys, when Ryan Day called out Lou Holtz, I did really enjoy that. That was kind of cool. I know he got some grief for it, but I kind of liked it.
the running joke from here on out is that we want him to find old people to be angry at.
Let's see. Does Purdue have any old people he can be
Yeah,
angry at? I
well,
don't.
I mean, somebody there wrong him in some way, shape, or form. We love angry Ryan Day. And
Yeah.
last week it was the ref. He had it out on the sideline with the official. Did you see
But I
this?
love when a head coach just rips into an official.
Oh yeah. So this official and him had they exchanged more than words. He probably got his phone number. The official gave him a sideline warning. Whatever happens every game for every coach, right?
Yeah.
Then later in the game, Ryan Day is behind the white line, like on the edge of the back of the white line.
Yeah.
Official, kid you not, takes a banana route to go bump into him
Oh,
to throw the flag. And
that's
Ryan's like, "Are you kidding me? You ran into me. I didn't run into you. I was not in your way." So they're having words, right? Later that drive, okay? We throw a touchdown to Marvin Harrison Jr. He throws a flag. He waited until the ball was in Harrison's hands to throw the flag to then say illegal motion.
so that guy had money
it-
on the game, is what I'm
And
saying.
it was not. That's what the rumor is. That's what the rumor is. And then
That's so lame.
Ryan runs the same play from the other side. We get the same touchdown. We get a touchdown out of it. And he is just chewing out this official. The entire television commercial, they are just, and like literally the other officials had to do the Major League Baseball thing where they step in and, hey, go. Like,
So his face was blood red behind that dyed black beard.
oh, yeah. The rosy red assassin came out, man. Love
It's
it.
just the Lou Holtz, and the fact the Lou Holtz interview was on the Pat McAfee show. I'm a big Pat guy, and it's with a Lou Holtz impersonator. Just made it even better. It's so college football. That's why I
It
love college
is.
football.
It is. I love it. We've been hammering them all the time. It's a lot of fun. So
Lou doesn't even know what Twitter is. Like he just Lou Holtz. What a
he's
gem.
like, I think Notre Dame's still a better football team. I don't know about you guys, but
And I think they interviewed him later on. I forget who it was, but he was like, I had no idea Pat McAfee had that many listeners. Like he didn't even know the show he was on. Like just I didn't know it was that big of a show.
who's Pat McAfee? I don't even know.
Who listened to this shit? Like what?
Oh, hey man, that's Dylan Kuhn. He is the star. I'm calling him the star.
Oh, I like it.
Of the Boiler
I'm
Express
the only one
podcast.
that showed up today, man. So I'm the star.
That's
today.
right. That's right. There's
hey,
5 of them.
Don't we have a trophy for Saturday?
Yes, we do.
Oh, I hope it's ours.
Yeah.
I hope
it's gonna. It's gonna be worn. No one's gonna wear this thing until someone wins this football game. They'll get the rivalry trophy, the first ever Big Banter rivalry trophy.
Ooh,
We're gonna reveal that. We're gonna reveal that probably tomorrow night on your guys' show. No.
Okay. Just making sure.
No.
We'll edit
It's all
that
good.
out.
It's all good, man. Tell everybody, Dylan, where they can check your podcast out at.
I mean, we're everywhere across platforms at Boiler_Express on Instagram and Twitter. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube. We stream live every Tuesday night at 9. These guys, hopefully Chris will be alive enough to do it. But we'll be live tomorrow night at 9 p.m. with Eric and the rest of the Boiler Express crew who all have jobs and stuff at night, and they couldn't make it tonight.
I think Aaron's going to be on with us too, so there'll be 2
let's
of us.
go. There we go. That would be fun. They were scared tonight. I get it. You know, I'm so intimidating.
Well, they didn't want to compete with the linemen tonight, so I get it. Linemen are just they're handsome and intelligent. What can you say? I know,
man. And I got your podcast is great. You guys kill it. I'm in the comments. I think every show I pop in the comments.
About, yeah.
People are probably quite confused why the Purdue guys in every comments, but I enjoy listening to the show. And
we have a good time.
It's a great show. You guys kill it. I think our 2 podcasts. Do we run banter? Maybe. Who's to say? But
yeah. What it's still one of my favorite things is when I was on Victor's Nation. I go, you guys do realize that there's really only 2 podcasts on Big Banter that matter, and they're like, yeah, that's right. And I'm like, yeah, it's us and the Purdue guys.
We run the show. What are you?
They're like, wait, what?
The Purdue guys. What do we? Oh man, I love it.
We'll see you tomorrow night. All of you, make sure you check that out. It'll be live on the Boiler Express podcast on YouTube tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Come be a part. Just jump in the chat. Have a bunch of Buckeyes jump in the chat.
Come hang out. We'll be happy to have you.
Yeah, and then
that Midwestern welcome.
Yeah, and then you and I are also the special guests on the Big Ten Huddle this week.
Oh yeah, I'll probably have to act like an adult there, huh?
I mean, I think of it like this. He's going to want to talk about the game. By then, we've talked about it enough.
Yeah.
We're going to be like, it's just a game. Let's talk about how bad the other teams in the Big Ten are.
Exactly. Let's bash the other teams.
That's my plan. By the time that show's over, poor JR is probably going to have to write an apology letter to Big Banner on our back.
I haven't met JR yet. We've messaged on Slack, but I haven't met him yet. And I don't know if he's watched our show, but he invited me on, and I said, buddy, I hope you don't find this to be a mistake, but I'll do it. If Eric's on, I'm on. I'm there.
Well, here's the thing, man. He's your doppelganger because
he's handsome and bearded.
No, he's a Buckeye fan who lives in Indiana.
Oh, look at us. It's a weird world to live in.
It's the upside down, man.
I put my flag out, my Purdue flag in front of my house, and my neighbors are like, that son of a gun. How dare you fly that here?
Oh gosh. Hey, thank you so much, Dylan. Appreciate it, my man. Looking forward to the game. We will be there with Bells on Saturday. Looking forward to a good time.
Let's
We're going
do
to be
it.
on with you tomorrow night. We'll be on with you on the other huddle. This is just the first of many this week. Until next time, everybody. Again, check it out. Come back. We got stuff coming all week long for you guys as we prepare for the big game with Purdue. Till next time. Good night, everybody.
Boiler up.
Go Bucks.